Hi, this is Joe again with another movie review. And like I promised in my last review of the Disney film Bambi, we're going to be discussing another film that has a controversial scene that everybody, for all the super panels, are complaining about. And definitely one of my favorite, if not my most favorite, Disney film. And that is the 1989, I believe it's 1989, or 88-89 film, The Little Mermaid. And of course, the reason why I like this film so much is, number one, the mermaid is kind of hot. For an animated mermaid, she's hot. And the soundtrack is terrific. And it should be, because the two guys who wrote the soundtrack, they wrote the music for the film, music and the lyrics for the film. I forgot the guy's name, is Howard Asher, I think it's one of them, and I Menken and Asher, last name of the two guys who wrote the music for this, wrote the music for the Broadway version, or the off-Broadway version of Little Shop of Horrors. And then they collaborated again for another Disney film which came after Little Mermaid, which was Beauty and the Beast. And then after that, one of them, who was gay, I forgot which one it was Howard Asher, I believe, was gay and died of AIDS. So they only collaborated on three films: Little Shop of Horrors, Little Mermaid, and Beauty and the Beast. Well, Little Mermaid, for those, and there is a controversy with the Little Mermaid, which I will get to. The story itself is, of course, is pretty simple because it's based on like a lot of the Disney films, it's based on a children's story. This is based on the Hans Christian Andersen story about this mermaid who falls in love with a human. Makes a deal with an evil. Well, in the Disney version, I don't know about the original version because I never read the original story. But in the Disney version, Ariel, who was this mermaid princess, was voiced by Joy Benson, both singing wise and speaking wise. The reason why I mention that fact is because in later films like Lion King and then Pocahontas, which we'll eventually review, they hired two actresses to play the singing part and the speaking part of the characters. In this case, just about everybody did their own singing and speaking for each of the characters, particularly Joy Benson, who of course voiced the Little Mermaid herself. The entire character. You also had Christopher Daniel Barnes was the voice of Prince Eric. You also had Buddy Hackett was voicing this dumb seagull. Emphasis on the word dumb. And Samuel Wright was the voice of Sebastian the Crab. And Pat Carroll was the voice of Ursula the Sea Witch. And they all did their own singing. Well, except for the Prince Eric character, they did their own. The character never sang in the film. But anyway, the story is that Ariel, who is the youngest princess of King Triton, who is this character, I don't know who voiced him. I know it's giving the credits in the credits, but I don't remember who voiced him. And Ariel plays the youngest daughter of King Triton, and this one particular, she likes to swim up to the surface, and because all the mermaids live under the sea, but Ariel was curious about what's above the sea in terms of the human world. So a particular day, she went up to the surface and she saved Prince Eric's life from drowning, and because his ship sank during a storm. And Ariel saved his life, and she fell in love with him, and he fell in love with the girl who saved his life, and he was looking for this girl, never knowing that she was a mermaid, until of course to the end of the film. So Ariel wanted to make a deal with go to the surface, and instead of getting into a fight with her father, she goes and makes a deal with Ursula the Sea Witch, and she was evil and she wanted to get back into the palace. She wanted to get even with Triumph because Triumph kicked her out of the kingdom they were in, where they rules. So to get even, so she's trying to figure out a way to get even with King Triumph. And she figured out a way through his daughter to get even with him. So he makes a deal with Ariel to, hey, if you have 3 days to have the prince fall in love with you, and with a big passionate kiss. If you do that, then you can get to be human for the rest of your life. If you don't, you belong to me. So Ariel makes a deal, and the fee for going there was losing her voice. And of course, this is where the controversial scene comes, when it looks like that she's going to fall in love with the prince, or Ariel's going to fall in love with the prince. Ursula decides, oh, that little witch, I'm going to get even with her. And so she disguises herself as human, puts a spell over the prince, and the prince to marry Ursula in disguise instead of Ariel. Of course, this is where the controversial scene comes up, which I want to get to after first. Of course, we know the Little Mermaid and the Seagull, voiced by Buddy Hackett, like I said, figures out that it was actually Ursula in disguise. They had this big battle scene in the end, and of course Ursula does die in the end, and they're trying to save Ariel. When he realizes that Ariel was actually a mermaid, he didn't care. He wanted to go after her. And of course, his advisor says, "Don't do it. And let them have her." He said, "No, I want to go after her." And because I love her, I also want to lose her again. So of course they had a big scene, and the scene where Ursula dies is very, very similar ending to how the villain or the witch dies in Sleeping Beauty. What it means is that she gets stabbed. That Ursula gets stabbed in the end by this wrecked ship that comes up from the ocean and stabs Ursula. And that's how she dies in the end of the film. Now getting back to the controversial scene, when Little Mermaid first came out, I think it was 89 when the film came out. It was up, and then eventually on video. This is one of the few videos of the Disney universe that came out like about a year or so after the film version came out. So you didn't have to wait, let's say, years and 5 to 10 years before it came out on home video. And when it first came out on video, there was not a stink. The controversy came when came out for the 10th anniversary video / DVD. And the controversial scene is when Ursula disguises herself as a human and puts a spell on the prince. And the prince decides to marry Ursula instead of Ariel. And they have this wedding scene on his ship instead of in the castle or something. They have it on the ship. And so when Ursula and Prince Eric, goes to the altar, you see the priest standing. It's a little old priest, the robes and everything. And that's where the controversial scene is. Because when you see the priest at the altar they had in the ship, you see that he has an erection. Or a boner, or exposed, almost getting hot for the Little Mermaid there, pretty much. And when I first saw it, I said, wait, what is that? Because it's obvious. I mean, you don't need to slow the film down as parents groups do. They slow the film down in every stupid Disney film to catch something. This is obvious. I mean, you don't need to slow anything down. You just have to pay attention and you see it. And if you blink, you miss it. And I kind of saw it right away. So what is that? And at first I thought maybe it was the breeze blowing the rose around, and it caused that effect. It didn't cause that effect. I mean, it was blinking that it was there, with the priest having a boner. or an erection, or whatever term you want to use. And of course, the parent group's making a stink over it. And the priest has a boner for the Little Mermaid, that type of thing. And Michael Eisner, who was then the head of Disney at the time, says no, that was not his wiener, it was his knee. Knees don't flap in the wind like that. Let me tell you that right now, that was not his knee. And of course, you can see, I'm sure you can see that clip on YouTube, that clip with the horny priest and the Little Mermaid. And of course, for the rest of the film, nobody complains about the story, the rest of the film, the songs, or anything else. They complain about that one little itty bitty, not even 5 seconds. That you see, if it's 5 seconds is a lot. You see the priest with the boner, for the Little Mermaid. But until the film itself, like I said, it's one of the best films that Disney has made over the last 30 years. No, absolutely, no question about it. And for anybody to say that Little Mermaid is a terrible movie because you have the priest with a boner, I mean you gotta get out of life, people. Not to see a movie or not to like a movie because of that one quick 5-second scene. You really, all you parents groups out there, if any of you who was part of any of those parent groups was watching this video, you should get out of life. Right? I mean, what you don't have anything else better to do with your lives, There's more important things to do, like making money, earning a living. It's more important than watching every single Disney film in slow motion to catch something that the Disney animators have slipped in. And I believe that they did slip that in. Plus the sex, the word sex in The Lion King. And I also kind of believe that they slipped that in. If it's intentional or not, only the animators know for sure because they're the ones who did it. But they're always trying to find like a conspiracy theory for scenes like in The Lion King and The Little Mermaid, so the parent groups would look for it, find it, and make publicity out of it, so that Disney would make more money because people would go out and get the videos or now DVDs and Blu-rays to spend money on these things so you can see that scene because people want to see what the hell they're talking about, or they go on YouTube and you find those scenes on YouTube. Now, but in those days you had to go out and find a DVD and or the video to see what these paragraphs were talking about. And then of course when we played the film, so you had the piece of the boner and pointed at my father and said, come on, and my father believed the knee thing. And said, Dad, that's not his knee. Knees don't flap in the wind like that. And but until the film, and thinking about like 3 of these songs from the soundtrack were nominated for best song in the Oscars. Under the Sea was performed by Sammy Wright. Kiss the Girl was also performed by Sammy Wright. And Part of Your World performed by Jolie Benson, and she is a terrific singer. Only once I saw her on television for one of the Disney Christmas parades, and they had all the past performers who were still alive at the time who performing songs from the whatever film they provided their voices for, and Johnny Benson performed the song Part of Your World, and she's just as hot as the character that she provides the voice for. As in terms of the film is great. Anybody who says otherwise don't know what they're talking about. This is the first in the series of films that Disney has made. I think like about 5 or 6 years in a row. Disney has put in a film that each one was just as good as the one before it. And this is the first one that started that trend, followed by Beauty and the Beast, which I refuse to see and refuse to do a review on. This is why. 2 words: Angela Lansbury. I hate her. She can't die fast enough for me. She can take that stupid show she did, nor she want to shove up her ass. That's why I refuse to see Beauty and the Beast, because of her. Then of course you have, Aladdin. You had, you also had a sequel to Aladdin. You also had Lion King, which came out in 1994, which I plan to do a review on. And of course you also have Pocahontas. which is also with Lion King and Pocahontas. I mean, pretty much throughout the night, most of the 90s, most of the Disney films, except for maybe Aladdin and Beauty and the Beast. I mean, in terms of the ones I can think of top of my head, had some kind of controversy in it. Even though the Little Mermaid didn't come out during the decade of the 90s, except for maybe for home video releases every few years. Just about every film, almost every film that Disney put out in the 90s had some kind of controversy in it. I mentioned the one with the Little Mermaid, and we'll get into more details with the Lion King, because there's more than one controversy with the Lion King. And I'm talking about briefly seeing the word sex in one particular scene. There's another controversy with the Lion King, which we'll get to when I do that review. So that's my review for the Little Mermaid. Please, if you've never seen this film, please get a chance to watch it. If it appears, let's say, on Disney Channel, or if and when it ever comes back out on DVD, I highly suggest that you get it for your, either if not for yourself, at least for your kids, or for your Disney collection. Please click on the video, please rate on it, feel free to comment on it, please subscribe to my channel, and please forward this video onto your Facebook pages. Thanks for watching, and catch you next time.